everyone, and welcome to our monthly meeting, October 15, 2024. We do have a quorum present tonight. I'm going to start to my left, to be to your right, with Councilwoman Rachel Hall. Okay, and next to her, Ms. David is not present at the time, Ms. Desiree David. We have our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Ramsey, our City Manager, Mr. Scott Swaggart, yours truly, and I'd like to welcome our new City Secretary, Ms. Juanita Lamont. Juanita is a graduate of Cleveland High School, and this is her home. And she's been with us for a while, and she was previously the Assistant City Secretary. And we're glad to, see her, get a chance, and we know she's going to do a good job for the city. Okay, welcome, Juanita. And also, I have Councilman Brent McWaters. Next to him, Councilman Roscoe Warwick, and Councilman Mayor Pro Tem Julius Buckley. Okay, we're going to ask Brother Tim Holder to come forward tonight with our invocation. Good to see you, Dr. Holder. Yes, sir.
Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for our city. We thank you, Lord, for this council. And we just pray, Father, that as they consider the issues for our city, that they would be very aware of your leadership, Lord. Our nation is in a mess now, and we pray that you would make our city a shining light for your glory and for your honor. Bless this meeting tonight. Give wisdom, give leadership, dear Lord. And we just want to praise you tonight because you're so worthy of praise. And we just lift up your name, and it's in the precious, precious name of Jesus that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, now I'm going to ask Mr. Brent McWaters, would he lead us in both pledges tonight?
Face the American flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, now I'm going to ask Mr. James Autry. Is he present tonight? I see him. Okay. It's always an honor to me to present these proclamations because we have an outstanding group of employees. And, from the first responders, firemen, policemen, all of our city employees. Any chance that I have to celebrate them, I always enjoy it. But this is to certify, awarded to Mr. James Autry in recognition of his outstanding performance, hard work, and dedication to the city of Cleveland. September 20, 2024, the Employee of the Month, dated this day, October 15, 2024. Thank you, Mr. Autry. There we go. Thank you for your service. Appreciate you. And also, I want to present you this plaque also. Okay, now we're gonna move on to item number 3. That will be the public comments. And Ms. Juanita, do we have anyone signed up tonight? Okay, we have no one signed up to speak tonight. Now we're gonna move on to item number 5, reports from council members regarding attendance of boards, commissions, et cetera, et cetera. But it's always good to hear from the council, you know. So we're going to start to my left with Councilwoman number 5, Ms. Rachel Hall. Do you have anything for this month?
Yes, so I just want to say thank you to all those who planned and organized the National Night Out event that was hosted by the DA's office and Precinct 6 Constable's office, as well as all the vendors and community groups who came out to participate in that and the members of the community. There are many, many more festivals happening in the next couple of weeks. So for those who are looking for something to do with their families, you can find a lot of that information online. And also we have our pumpkins back in town, which is always a good thing. So don't forget to stop and get a pumpkin. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hall. Okay, we're going to proceed to Mr. McWaters. Do you have any comments tonight?
Not tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Warwick?
Yes, sir. First, I want to say I want to thank the city and all the workers for everything they do. Awesome job, everyone. Also, I attended the TML conference last week, and it was awesome. Learned a lot, saw a lot, met a lot of people, and just was glad to have the support of the city with us down there, because we were one group, and it's just good to be, you know, a team. Because if you're not a team, you know, hey, it's wrong. It's just not wrong if you're not a team. So you need to be a team player, or else, you know, it's not going to work. But everything went great, and I just want to thank the city for allowing us to have that opportunity to go. And thanks to everyone that had put into that. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Buckley?
Yes, sir. We didn't have an airport board meeting this month, but we did sell 5,130 gallons of avgas and then 1,300 gallons of Jet A fuel. And we have a fall sweep around this Saturday. There's more information on the city website. And then we have Treat Street also October 31st at the Civic Center from 6 to 8.
Okay. Scott, do you have anything tonight?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, well, I just, you know, now we have the budget season out of the way, and I see all the majority of the staff present tonight. I just like to thank, you know, all the department heads, all the departments for the job that you do day in and day out. You know, I have a chance now to participate. I'm here most days. A lot of days I'm here, and I just really admire the work, you know, that I see you guys and girls doing every day, day in and day out. And sometimes I just feel like you don't get the credit. You know, you're working shorthanded, working long hours, and the majority of the time, you know, when someone comes to visit, they're not coming to drink coffee with you and tell you how good of a job you're doing. But, you know, you guys hang in there real good. And once again, thank you. With that being said.
I would like to just thank everybody real quick. We just, at 5 o'clock this evening, we did have our dedication ribbon cutting for the new playground at the Old City Park. And so I want to make sure and thank everybody that attended that ribbon cutting and dedication, and just thank everybody that was involved in that. It was a great event. It just, again, you know, helps shows our community what efforts we're putting out there for quality of life for our residents, and that we are doing the big wins, and we are moving forward with great things here in Cleveland. So thank you all for being there.
Thank you, Scott.
If you haven't got a chance to go look at it, please go out and go slide down the slide.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to now the consent agenda. All consent agenda items are considered routine by City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requests an item be removed and considered separately. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda, 6, 7, and 8.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Mac Waters. I have a second by Mr. Buckley. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, now we'll move on to the discussion items on the regular agenda. Item number 9, Havens Army Facility use request for the Civic Center. Ms. Ashley.
Good afternoon, council, mayor. So we had a letter that came in for facility use requests of the Civic Center for Heaven's Army, which I did see Lenora. Yeah, you can come on up. So this is Lenora. This is the with Heaven's Army, and we have Faith here with Heaven's Army. Faith used to be an employee with the city of Cleveland as well, so y'all know Faith as well. But they are here wanting to do a bingo fundraiser. It's bingo, blango, bango. Yes, it's a long word. But they're wanting to do facility use. They had this last year at the senior center, and then this year they are looking to have this at the Cleveland Civic Center due to the growth and due to it being a big fundraiser for them. So their mission statement is to glorify God in everything that they do, and is centered on reaching those who may be lost in their ways. Heaven's Army has always been deeply committed to serving the Cleveland area through volunteering over 2,000 hours each year, and even being a part of many events throughout the city. And you will see them sometimes at the chamber luncheons and different things like that, and throughout the community volunteering their hours. In this Heaven's Army, again, like I said, they're hosting their annual fundraiser. This is one of their biggest fundraisers that they do.
Actually, we've only had one fundraiser in 14 years.
Well, yeah.
That was this year. And it was so big because we've never done a fundraiser. And then we outgrew the building that we had. It was not at the senior center. It was at another business that had just opened here in Cleveland. And we went to support them. And then, so we had over 300 attendees, and so we were stacked in wall to wall. So we want to grow it even bigger, so we can do more in our community and stuff, so.
Okay. And so this goes to actually fundraising Amazing Grace, and also now you have the men's part of it, which is the Winston House. Again, Heaven's Army is looking to utilize the Civic Center for this fundraiser, and we're just looking for input from council as far as approval. They are going to be wanting to use the full ballroom as well as the kitchen for this event, and it's going to be February the 8th, and that is a Saturday. So we're just looking for input on either at a reduced price and or giving them, and this would be in lieu of sponsorship for the city. So just to put that out there as well.
Ashley, I have a question. I think the microphone is on. It doesn't have a green light anymore. It might have been a year or two ago, and so I just wanted to clarify. Isn't there a nonprofit policy in place that was established in a prior council about the facility rate would be like 25% instead of the full rate, just to cover the staffing and the lights and electricity and
And we do have that still in place as well. And
Okay.
that is another option. That is just up to the council if y'all choose to go that route on allowing for them to do the nonprofit. So they have that option as well.
So if that was the rate, what would be the rate? What would be the rate if it was a
The nonprofit,
nonprofit rate? What
the nonprofit rate would be $1,075. So it would be the 25% of that. It would be the 265, I want to say, is what it would be. I think that's right. Yeah.
But they are asking this in lieu of
And this
a
would be in lieu
sponsorship, so
of a
that we would be
sponsorship. So that's why,
recognized as a sponsor of the program.
correct.
Can you, I guess, elaborate maybe what that sponsorship would look
So
like?
What we have is, first is we already have the sponsorship packages. I can give each of you one of these. But we also, I thought I brought more than I did here. And then we also have our social media, and then on our Bridge to Recovery at our home, we have a bridge which is $1,000 sponsorship. We would put on one of those planks, City of Cleveland, with your logo. So anytime we have events out there, anytime we do weddings or anything like that, everyone going out there would see that bridge when they go across that bridge, because it draws attention, because everyone wants to see all the people and all the places here in Cleveland that support us. So we would have your name on that bridge. And then also, like I said, and then also you would get a table at the event, a table of 10 to be able to attend. What we're wanting to show is how we're all together in unity. We support and help by giving over 2,000 hours back into our community here, that's required of them. And we don't do it to come in seeking, because like I said, we've been doing this for 14 years.
Right.
This is our first time to approach you. So we've never asked, we just do it because that's part of what we have to do, and the ladies do. But then it is also that just showing the community how we're all in this, putting unity back in our community.
I think in lieu of the sponsorship, I think we ought to consider just donating the time for the use of the hall. If we're getting this, this sponsorship package here, that carries a value.
Yes. Would that be a,
Our ladies work with law enforcement here in our constable's office, with our DA, that's where we're headed to right now, even the DA as soon as we leave here, so they're very involved in everything that we do in Cleveland.
okay, well, would that be a motion, Mr. McWaters?
Yeah, I make a motion, we waive the usage fee for the rental hall and kitchen space in lieu of the sponsorship opportunity.
Okay. Second. Okay, that, Mr. Warwick?
Yes.
Okay, I have a second by Mr. Warwick. Any more discussion or questions? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Good luck. And we really appreciate the work that you all do for Cleveland, surrounding areas. You help a lot of people, and you are appreciated. Thank you very much.
Would we be able to utilize your logo on our?
Sure. Yeah, great. Thank you. Y'all have a good evening. Okay, item number 10. Would that be Emilio or Miss Danielle? Okay, it'll be Miss Danielle.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I do want to bring it to y'all's attention. We did meet with the Zoning Board of Adjustments. I could do these at the same time, can I? If it's under the same thing, it's just two different addresses. I just want to confirm before I move forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what's the other one?
You can present them together, the motions will have to be separate.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, okay, it's two structures, okay.
Yes, sir. So on September 26th, we did meet with the Zoning Board of Adjustments regarding two properties within the city of Cleveland for substandard. The first property is at 213 South Fenner. The second property is at 634 Easy Street. If you are familiar with both of these properties, the one that's on Easy Street is right behind Public Works. The second one is on South Fenner. It's surrounded by trees, and I believe the property was burned down at one time, and so now it's just accumulated rubbish. So we did bring it before the board, and our intent on this, after careful consideration, evidence, and everything that myself, as well as our third party, TCG, who assists with the substandard structures, came to conclusion is that we wanted to have these properties abated. Zoning Board of Adjustments unanimously agreed with it. So now we are in front of the council to go ahead and move forward with demolition. A little bit of backstory on 634 Easy Street. Unfortunately, with that one, the owners just are not in financial position to be able to demo it themselves. That would mean that the city would have to step in and do that. Development Services does have about $30,000 that we do set aside for demolition of the properties. So that's basically where we would be at with 634 Easy Street, is going ahead and taking on that cost. Once we do take on that cost, we turn around and we put a lien on the property, and that would be for either property whenever we do take on that demolition. Putting the liens on there basically locks the owner from being able to sell it in the future or do anything with it until they basically reimburse the city. So at this point, we do want to move forward with that, and we do ask if City Council would go ahead and mark these for abatement and substandard.
Make a motion, we abate item 10A, 213 South Fenner.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley, and I have a second by Mr. McWaters. All those in favor for 213 South Fenner? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, B?
Item B, same thing.
Yeah, I make a motion that we abate structures on 634 Easy Street.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley. I have a second by Mr. McWaters. All those in favor for 634 Easy Street? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Danielle,
Yes,
I
sir.
want to thank you and Emilio for the work that y'all are doing. You know, we're trying to clean up our city, and people don't understand. It's like pulling teeth, trying to get the city cleaned up. And it's a process that we have to go through, a legal process. And it takes, pretty much maybe a year of just legal stuff, trying to get it done. But just keep doing what you're doing. It's only 2, but, we just,
Yes, sir.
keep chipping away at it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, Mayor, even along those lines, even these properties will have to wait, now that we made that decision, still have to wait a time frame before we can actually do the
Right.
abatement. But,
Yeah.
but the process is continuing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, item number 11, guess that'll be Emilio. Strategic planning update, number 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Little bit.
Good evening. As part of our adopted clean regular updates as far as our implementation progress, recommended, so that's part of what we're doing here. This is the 5th implementation update for LCP. Next slide. So I think it's helpful to review the vision and mission statement that have guided the goals and objectives throughout the strategic plan. The vision statement is, the vision of Cleveland is to be a family-friendly, inclusive, and vibrant community that is safe. The culturally diverse city where families thrive for generations. There we go. Fostering economic growth, excellent quality of life with educational opportunities, health care, and amenities while preserving our rich history and natural resources. And then on the next slide, we'll read over the mission statement. The mission of Cleveland is to set clear priorities that align with our vision statement. The city, ensuring the long-term sustainability of our community, will be good stewards of our resources and implement sound financial strategies. We recognize and embrace the diversity within our community and endeavor to build an inclusive environment that values different perspectives, promoting a forward-thinking and innovative culture that fosters creativity and efficient solutions. The city is dedicated to transparency and openly communicate with our stakeholders in a timely and effective manner. So just a chronology of events here. You've adopted this strategic plan in April of 2023. And we've gone through 4 updates with the 5th update tonight, but it looks like July 2023 was the first update, a subsequent update in October 2023, a 3rd update just recent, or in 2024 of January earlier this year, and then recently at the council retreat in June this summer. But these are we'll cover the 4 topic areas of organizational excellence, expanding economic development opportunity, improving infrastructure and development, and enhancing civic pride. Starting with organizational excellence, the guiding principle there to be as part of the 2024 FY budget, we were able to complete the final step of the previously adopted 2020 comprehensive plan to implement those longevity adjustments. So under this new budget, FY25, we are budgeting for a compensation study, a new one, and that's on the next slide as part of the next goal in this strategy. And so that is updated. Yes, please. Next. And we are soliciting proposals from some firms that do that kind of analysis for us, and we'll be bringing that forward in the subsequent budget with those recommendations. And the final strategy on this slide is to review and revise employee policies and procedures. The goal there to be improving our technology for employees. Under the current, or the now FY25 budget, we were able to fund those technology enhancements, and we'll be replacing computers for employees across the city. Next slide, we'll be going on to section 2, expanding economic development opportunity, the guiding principle there being to proactively seek out economic development opportunities for Cleveland. Next slide. So our strategy here on 2.10, increasing revenues for the city operations and services, the goal there to secure grants and grant writing capabilities. Happy to report that the city has contracted with a few firms, GrantWorks and Westwood. I believe they have items on this evening's agenda, so you'll see that they've been very busy on the city's behalf. But doesn't stop there. We're also looking to expand our grant-seeking capabilities and ambitions, work with different firms on opportunities for like sidewalk grant improvements and things like that. Within that same strategy, another goal there is to increase growth through marketing. Something there is for council and staff to represent and advocate for the city on an ongoing basis. As part of my role, I've been invited to be part of the Houston Regional Economic Development Alliance, HREDA, as part of the Greater Houston Partnership, increasing our cooperation there and actually responding to a number of significant RFIs representing potential investment for the community. On the next strategy, or the same strategy, same goal, action update 4, building programs based on what developers and investors would like to see in Cleveland. Happy to report that we're working with Resimplify, which is a commercial real estate technology firm. We'll be utilizing their platform for like an available property site selection tool to highlight not only city and EDC owned commercial real estate assets, but also on-market properties and even some off-market properties, all on a platform that prioritizes and really highlights, showcases the opportunities in Cleveland. And then finally, preparing a rebranding to the extent necessary, as you are all familiar with, hopefully. We did welcome Destination by Design here the last week as part of a pretty extensive and very involved campaign, I guess, for information and input seeking in terms of robust stakeholder engagement and focus groups. I misspoke, that was the week before last. But they'll be taking all that information, distilling it down into a DNA report for us, and they'll be bringing that back to the rebranding committee, hopefully sometime in November. And then that'll inform the next steps, which is kind of the graphic iterations of logos and things like that. Next slide, please. Moving on to the next strategies. In terms of relationship buildings and cooperation with other entities, happy to report that the city and EDC has collaborated greater with the Cleveland Greater Chamber of Commerce, Greater Cleveland Chamber of Commerce and the Cleveland ISD on several advisory committee appointments, just to, keep those channels open and welcome their input and, do everything we can to be neighborly and cooperate with them. Under Section 2.30, Downtown Development Revitalization Program, and seeking partners to revitalize and invest in downtown, the EDC, through its kind of budget process, is evaluating ways to overhaul the facade improvement program, make that more efficient and effective in terms of leveraging those funds for better outcomes. And so the EDC will be considering some updates to that program in November, or in their October meeting later this month, and hopefully adopting something in November or December when it comes to updated guidelines. Also within this strategy is to establish a Shop Local campaign program. The EDC, in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce, did do something to this end in terms of a signage kind of marketing campaign, and you can see a lot of that signage still throughout the community in terms of a Shop Local campaign. We're also collaborating with the Chamber on a Cocoa Crawl, kind of Christmas-themed event to help kind of drive some downtown patronage of businesses and visitation. So we'll be working with them in terms of sponsorship and marketing, and hopefully that'll yield some good results for downtown. And the final strategy in economic development opportunities is looking at our code enforcement and demolition of substandard structures, as evidenced by the information that Danielle shared with you just prior to this. So we're had some great success with Belcher Street and hope to carry that momentum on into these other properties with these other abatements that we just issued. So good work happening on that end as well. We'll also, next, we'll be looking at improving infrastructure and development. The guiding principle there being to maintain and expand infrastructure and ensure quality development. Next slide. With strategy 3.10 being establishing an impact fee program, we are making progress on this. We'll be assembling a land use assumptions committee comprised of various stakeholders in commercial real estate development, residential development, utilities, policymakers, various groups and entities, hopefully in November to inform updates to the future land use map that will guide the CIP program. Under strategy 3.20, preparing a drainage master plan. As you know, the city is working with Strand Engineering and Public Management as part of the GLO grant program to assess drainage plans and improvements for the Tanglewood subdivision. Also, to this end, we adopted some drainage standards, enhanced drainage standards as part of our design criteria manual that was approved by council in a few subsequent council meetings. So we are looking at addressing drainage through policy as well. Under strategy 3.30, constructing park improvements. As you know, when it comes to the parks strategic plan, we do have currently a survey circulating. We've had some promising participation, but we'd like to see a little bit more. So if y'all can do some things on y'all's end or just spread the word, we'd like to get more responses as we're keeping that open till the end of October. And then that will inform some of the recommendations and feedback for the overall plan on that. We did have some recent park wins. This evening was a great example of that, as the mayor was saying, at Old City Park, and also a couple of weeks ago at the skate park dedication at Campbell Park. Looking ahead and budgeting for park improvements, this is a pretty robust year for that in terms of the cities and the EDC budgeting for those funds. The FY25 budget includes funds for Samuel Wiley Park improvements. It also includes improvements, shade improvements at the library, and even some contemplated improvements at the old fire station pavilion. And it also includes a feasibility study for Stansel Park and Expo. Looking at strategy 3.40, increasing revenues for I don't think that's right, but preparing for additional facility needs, identifying funding sources. Again, I think grants is kind of the common theme of some of these implementation goals here, but the city is in receipt of $30 million worth of somewhat forgivable loans through the Texas Water Development Board, and so working with Blyle Engineering and Westwood as in terms of phase 2 of getting that process started in looking at planning for the design and construction of those much needed improvements. Next slide, please. Under strategy 3.40, preparing for additional facility needs, again, budgeting for repair and replacements. Our efforts with GrantWorks is we're proceeding with those efforts in terms of seeking Texas CDBG funds for 25-26 award year, looking at an application resolution to repair some water plant improvements and other water infrastructure improvements there. Also, hopefully planning to complete Peach Street lift station improvements later this month. And as you know, working with Amoresco to carry out the automatic meter reading system program, and hopefully with a kickoff meeting in November, and actually might start seeing some meter replacements as soon as November, but that would carry on until next summer, I believe. Under strategy 3.4, also looking at reviewing potential for improvements to transit systems. Again, working with a number of consultants to that end. It's also on the EDC's radar in terms of how we can assist and facilitate some of that. Looking for funding sources there, and then coordinating with all the appropriate entities in terms of TxDOT, Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, and HGAC for those funding opportunities and those funding calls. Under goal 3.5.1, adding space for growing staff, we have a lot of new infrastructure coming our way, and we need to maintain some staff to adequately maintain and keep up with those improvements. So in subsequent budgets, we're going to be looking at funding additional personnel, certainly. And lastly, increasing personnel for code enforcement, as Danielle will kind of highlight our activity there, but just to highlight something, recently we transitioned to TCG, at least from the council retreat. And they are already administering our substandard building program, and I could say that they're doing a really good job at code enforcement as well. And I believe lastly, we have our our fourth category, enhancing civic pride, with the guiding principle being to enhance and promote civic and community pride and engagement. So under strategy 4.10, establishing and hosting festivals, trade days, and farmers markets, we have a few updates. In 2024, we've kind of worked and partnered with the HGAC to promote Biketober through a social media campaign on various platforms across the city. Also looking at providing a 100's Ed class sometime in 2024 or possibly 2025. This was postponed by our instructor contact through the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. We had to put that off, but we will revisit that. Also working with Texas Parks and Wildlife to bring in just kind of an outdoor education event in general. And so we'll be looking to revisit that planning effort and meetings there. As Mr. Buckley pointed out, we'll have the fall sweep that will be kind of the inaugural event for this activity later this week. And we hope to make this an annual event, at least for twice a year. Under goal 4.20, improving communication and transparency. I hope you're all enjoying the news AV system when it works and we got batteries in the mic. But that wasn't a nod at you. We do currently have the capability of streaming on YouTube. We'll look at expanding that to Facebook as well. And then also looking at doing similar improvements to the AV system at the Civic Center. Contingent on the county funding that we'll be receiving, we'll also be working towards an agenda management solution to better kind of coordinate our agenda efforts and getting that out in a more timely manner. We're also, excuse me, looking at kind of our social media usage and increasing exposure on those platforms to get information out definitely in terms of the Civic Center's use of their social media. On goal 4.3.1, reactivating the beautification committee. In terms of assessing Keep Cleveland Beautiful program, at least on efforts around the downtown area, we are looking at Public Works assisting with some activation of some downtown flower planters boxes. Hopefully looking to do that later this month or next month. In terms of kind of public art, we are in communication with CISD and Cherry Meekins, kind of helping them with that dialogue in terms of utilizing students for future public art projects or murals, and assessing, what public buildings would be good for those opportunities. And lastly, in terms of establishing cleanup campaigns, continuing our current programs, again, off the back of Clean Up Cleveland, we have the fall sweep, as I mentioned before. And then when it comes to seeking volunteers and participation from the community, we're looking at utilizing student council as volunteers as we're able to sign off on those hours. So I believe that's all the updates we have for y'all. If there's any questions or discussions, have some of the other facilitators here to answer that for y'all.
Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you, Emilio. Okay, we're going to move right along to item number 12. That'd be Danielle again. Code enforcement update.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. How are y'all doing?
Okay.
So I do want to report to y'all on our code enforcement. I know last month we kind of just went over how the process works, how the residents can come in and place their complaints on, I guess, their neighbors or other people that they see around the city. So it's really easy. Let's just touch base on that again. So residents are able to come in to City Hall. They could either do it in person, send an email to our code enforcement email at clevelandtexas.com, or there is an app that they're able to download on the phone. And if they're in front of the structure or the area that has high weeds or junk vehicles, debris or anything, they're able to take a picture and it automatically generates the address and it sends it straight to TCG, who is our code enforcer. Just to touch base on that, the code enforcer that does take care of the city of Cleveland does not know who is who. I think that's a very important thing to put out there. Many people are getting, the letters, the violations, and, we get phone calls every day about it. A lot of them, they want to comply with it and they get it taken care of. Others, takes a little bit further for them to go ahead and do that, but it doesn't matter who the person is. Code enforcement is out there, and the biggest goal for them is just to make sure Cleveland is where it needs to be and things are taken care of within the city. So every month, whenever we do our violation notices, I'm provided a action report. So what they call it is a rolling action report. Within the year, if an item is taken care of, but the item ends up, so let me back up. If a home has high weeds and they get it taken care of, but then within that year, the high weeds start taking over again, the city can step in, get it taken care of on the city's expense, but put a lien on that property, and they would have to pay the city back. So they have a year for that item to be taken care of, and they have a year for it to be back on the action report. So it doesn't necessarily have to go through the violation notice process all over again. However, if the violation is specifically on weeds, we can't go and take care of something on a junk vehicle. So if a complaint is made and it's more than just weeds, high grass, or junk vehicles, it has to be made for each complaint in each item. Because of the way the ordinance is written, each item is a violation. So it does go on the action item report. Since we last met, I want to say I've had a total of 50 new complaints since our last council meeting that have went out. Majority of the time, they do take care of it, they comply with it, or they do ask for an extension. However, right now, the city is going to begin working on homes that have high weeds or grass. We do have some that are that we have to post and publish on those because we have not gotten a response from the homeowner. Once we post and we publish it in the newspaper, the city will go take care of it, and then we put a lien on those properties. We have other items that TCG says, okay, these are the recommended homes that we need to go and get everything taken care of because it's an ongoing issue. So we have a list of those. So on the post and publish, we have a total of 7 homes that we would go and take care of automatically if they're posted in the newspaper and published out there for the public. We do have the recommended homes, which is a total of 33, and we have another list of 15 homes that need to be taken care of. That's not really a 911, but these are out there that still need to be handled. I think it's just really important for people to understand. Code enforcement, yes, it can come off as a negative item because nobody wants to get a violation notice. However, it is very important for us to implement that as a city because that goes with our home values. If something next to us is not where it needs to be up to par, our own home value goes down. And it's very important because the growth that is happening within the city of Cleveland, that we need to keep up with it. And I think that's one of the most important things. So that's where we are this month with code enforcement.
Thank you, Danielle.
You're welcome.
Okay, going to move along to item number 13, Liberty County Fire Protection Agreement. Chief Anderson.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
Sir.
As you know, this has been more than a year in the making since Scott and I approached Liberty County before last year's budget about an increase, because we haven't seen an increase now in 6 years. So we ended up not having a contract last year, and we gave you updates throughout the year and the process, the number of times that the mayor and Scott and I went down and spoke with them. We received the preliminary of the contract with the increase for this year. Scott and I did go to the budget meeting for the county and to thank them for the increase, for working with us through the year. Did want to point out that, it is an increase. It's not what we asked for, but when we came before council asked for a significant increase from what we were receiving. This is more than double than what we were receiving for the last 5 years. Again, we didn't have one last year, 6 years. So it's double what we were receiving. So I feel like that is significant, and it is a step in the right direction. which is why we wanted to go and tell the county that we appreciated them working with us. I do also want to, with some of the situation that's going on in the county, if you look at the contract under item number 6, it has an individual's email. That's going to be addressed by the county. They're actually going to create a new email for the fire marshal's office. It won't be, that individual is no longer with the county in any capacity. So that's going to be removed, and that'll be fixed. And with the situation that's going on, we are still keeping up with the funds that we're expelling. As we've said, that we're going to continue turning in those reports to the county, as well as right now with the situation that's going on, we are helping the county. Additionally, other than the responses that we normally make, we're actually performing some of the investigations and stuff for them, since they don't have anyone in that office currently. City of Cleveland has performed 6 investigations from the Plum Grove area all the way down to the Plain State Jail in Dayton. So we will get you, I know we haven't gotten you the year end for last year for what was expended toward the county. The finance staff is working on it very diligently, as they are with many things. But they, with the year-end closeout and being for TML and what have you, there's just aren't enough hours in the day. So we'll get you all that report as soon as we can get all that information together.
But one of the things that we did make comment when we were at the county is we did thank them for the increase, but we also reminded them that we are going to be spending over $600,000 this year, and that we need to continue to work to increase this from the $200,000 to the $600,000 in the future, but that we thank them for what we did get this year, and that we just need to make sure that we continue to work. So this is not the end, but it is a major step forward for us in getting reimbursed for this service. Again, this is providing services outside of our city limits, but within our designated fire district that we have. And so that this is just the cost and the reimbursement for those services that are within our fire district, but outside of our city limits. So.
We need a motion to approve it.
Yes.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve the fire protection agreement with them being reminded we need more money.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley,
Second.
second by Mr. Warwick. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Anderson. Okay, item number 14, resolution to authorize Juanita Lamont and Julius Buckley to sign city-related bank accounts and remove Alice Rios and Desiree David.
Good evening. This is just an update to our signature cards at the bank. We currently have myself, Scott, Miss Alice, the mayor, and Desiree as signers, and we will be removing Miss Alice and Desiree and adding the new mayor pro tem and new city secretary.
Make a motion, we approve number 14, resolution to authorize Juanita Lemon and Julius Buckley to sign city-related bank accounts.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Mac Waters. I have a second by Mr. Buckley. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison. Okay, item number 15, ordinance for Texas Water Development Board, Clean Water State Revolving Fund. Authorize representative resolution, that's A, and B will be application affidavit. C, application resolution. Would that be you, Scott?
Yes, so
Okay.
Mayor and Council, this is, if you remember, part of the clean water, or the Texas Water Development Board funding that we got for the clean water. And so we've gotten through the phase 1 of the application. And so this is all documentation related to the phase 1 completion, so we can move on to phase 2. And so, and Westwood is here with us tonight, and so if you have any questions regarding it, they're here and be able to answer questions. But again, this is basically formality, getting us to completion of the Phase 1 so we can move into Phase 2. The next agenda item will actually be awarding a contract to move us to Phase 2 and then through the completion of these projects. But this is documentation that's required to do, to accept the Phase 1 allocation, so.
Okay, do I have a motion for the Phase 1 allocation, A, B, and C?
I make a motion, we approve item number 15, ordinance for Texas Water Board Clean Water Revolving Fund A, B, and C.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. McWater, second by Mr. Buckley. Any other questions, comments? All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay. Okay, we're gonna move along to the item number 16, award contract for administration and engineering service for the Texas Water Development Board. A, Clean Water State Revolving Fund. B, Texas Water Fund / Rural Assistance Fund. C, Master Fee Schedule.
All right, Mayor and Council, again, this is, now that we're moving to Phase 2 on the Texas Water Development Fund projects, we went out for an RFQ. If you remember, we did that. We selected our selection committee last month. So we have received those RFQs. We received 5 RFQs from different interested parties. The nomination committee has met, reviewed each of those qualifications, and the committee unanimously are recommending that we go with Westwood for that, who has also partnered with Blau Engineering for their application. And so so in here you have basically the awarding that contract to them. We've got a master service agreement in here with Westwood for those services, so they will get us through the Phase 2 application and then get us in through the design and, of course, bidding and construction oversight as we move through these projects. You have two amendments to that, or 2 exhibits. And so the way this will work is we have one master agreement that'll be with them, and then each of the different phases will have a different exhibit, and so we'll have the 2 exhibits. One is for the clean water application, Phase 2. We have one that is for the Texas Water Fund funding for the drinking water side of it, and so those 2 are here for us to go ahead and move forward on those. So having the master agreement and those 2 exhibits, and then once we get those the second phase completed and get those projects awarded, then we would do exhibits on each of those projects. So we know one thing, like on our that we're going to be removing one of our plants, and so when we remove that facility, that'll be an exhibit. When we go to redo put in all new water lines, that would be an exhibit for that project. When we do the sewer lines, that'd be a project. If we do a lift station, that would be a project. All those different projects, different improvements will have its own exhibit for that, and so it'd be a separate agreement based on the master service agreement. But we've got to get through Phase 2, which actually identifies and gets the approval of the specific projects as we move forward, so.
Okay.
And again, we do have Westwood here with us today, if you do have any questions with them. But again, this comes as a recommendation from the nomination committee as a recommendation to go with Westwood for these services.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to award the contract for administration and engineering service for the Texas Water Development Board to Westwood?
Yeah, I make a motion to agenda item presentation, award contract RFQ for professional administrative engineering service for the water and wastewater system improvement related to the Clean Water State Revolving Funds and the Texas Water Funds Rural Assistance Fund. Items A, B, and C.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Warwick, and I have a second by Mr. Buckley. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries. Mr. Warwick, thank you. You said that with enthusiasm. Because.
Gotta be done, man. Gotta be done.
Yes, sir.
All my life.
And I thank God for this, that we're able to do this. That had to be divine intervention for Cleveland, Texas, that we can repair our 70-year-old water and infrastructure.
That's right.
Thank God.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to move along to item number 17, resolution authorizing Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application.
Mayor and council, again, this is another one of those projects that we've been working on. And so if you remember, not too long ago, we contracted with with GrantWorks to apply for the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program this year to work with us to do, it's a $750,000 program this year. And so we will be submitting this application with this resolution to be able to apply for those funds. So we are planning on working with Blau and Westwood and of course everybody to make sure that these projects all coordinate with each other and coincide so we can definitely get the best buck. But this is again another $750,000 worth of projects that we're going to be going for, and so hopefully we'll be able to achieve these as well.
Make a motion, we approve the resolution authorizing Texas Community Development Block Grant Program application.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Mike Waters. I have a second by Mr. Buckley. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 18, designation for a representative and alternative to the Houston Galveston Area Council for 2025 General Assembly.
Mayor and council, in your package, you see a letter from the HGAC, and they are requesting that the city appoint a representative for the Home Rule Cities group, and also appoint an alternate. The last time we appointed somebody, it was the council member, Danny Lee at that time, with the alternate was Eddie Lowry. But now it's time that we need to reappoint a new representative and an alternate for that committee. Of that committee will then nominate two representatives that would actually sit on the HGAC board representing the home rule cities within this area. So we just need to designate a representative, and then in the event that representative can no longer fulfill that or not able to fulfill the service in that meetings, and then we have an alternate as well.
I'll do it.
I want to designate Rachel Hall, sit on the committee.
That's fine, great. That's fine, that'll be great. I mean, I told somebody earlier on this, I mean, if somebody else want to do it, it's not going to hurt my feelings, so. Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome, Mayor.
I'm on enough stuff, so. Okay, now,
Need an alternate.
need alternate.
Roscoe, I think.
Yeah, Roscoe?
Oh, we're gonna, our Mayor Pro Tem be an awesome alternate. Yeah,
I'm
Mayor
busy.
Pro Tem.
I'm busy November 7th.
Oh.
Take off.
Okay, do I hear a motion for Ms. Hall and as a representative and Mr. Buckley as alternate?
I make a motion, Ms. Rachel Hall, representative, and Mayor Pro Tem Julius Buckley as the alternate.
Amen. Okay. I got a second? Second?
I'll second.
Okay, there we go. Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? No. Motion carries. Okay. Now, this is a new one for me. Item number 19, I'm gonna let Miss Mary Cohen elaborate on this. Is book objection for Can We Please Give the Police Department to the Grandmother by, I'm not gonna butcher that name up, so.
Mayor, Council,
Go ahead.
Mr. Swigert. On October the 7th, we had a patron who found a book on the shelf, Can We Please Give the Police Department to Grandmothers by Janata Petrus. The patron claimed that the book was inappropriate since she believed that it was anti-police and she had some concerns with the language that was used. She recommended that we have more books about community helpers showing the public servants in a positive light. The book was written initially as a poem after Michael Brown in Missouri in 2014. It was her poem that she had written, and to her it was a freedom dreaming and reimagining a perfect world. After the George Floyd death in 2020 in Minnesota, the poem became a book. The library purchased the book as part of its 2024 Books for Black History Month in February. The book was chosen based on positive book reviews and 4 awards and distinctions that it had received. The book is classified as a picture book, which is geared towards pre-K to 3rd grade. The next section up from that would be 3rd to 8th grade, and this book is too young for that section. The book shows, in my opinion, shows optimism, is thought-provoking, and ultimately centered on fierce love. The book imagines grandmothers of all sorts who are filled with wisdom and love, serving as community-based, safety, and mutual aid persons. The book invites conversations about relationships in communities of color. The book is not anti-police, it is pro-grandmothers, in my opinion, and others who have read the book after the book was asked to be removed. I reached out to the American Library Association Office of Intellectual Freedom for any other challenges to this book and their outcomes. ALA responded with that there were 3 prior challenges, all in public libraries and all in 2023. One of them was in Missouri, Virginia, and Indiana. I may not agree with the parent who wants to remove the book, but I do applaud her for previewing the book to ensure that it would meet her standards and that of her family. The parent never checked out the book, nor did the child read or listen to the book. Regarding the library having more books about community helpers and showing the public servants in a positive light, I will simply say we have 3,564 titles in this area of the library, and we have 36 books classified as such as community helpers or pro-police, which is 1% just in that one small area. As a public library, we have the responsibility of offering books in various forms, including different backgrounds or views that may be controversial to some, but should never be excluded. It is also our duty to provide materials and information presenting all points of view on current and historical issues. Reading is among our greatest freedoms. The freedom to read and write is almost the only means of making general available ideas or manners of expression that can initially command only a small audience. The written word is a natural medium for the new idea and the untried voice for which come the original contributions to social growth. After all, this is the same premise for our very own Declaration of Independence. It too was freedom dreaming. Any questions?
I make a motion that we leave the book on the shelf.
Thank you.
I'll second it. After reading it, I don't see the issue with the book.
We even asked the police chief. He did not believe that it was anti-police in any way, shape, or form. And I have the book if you guys would like to read it.
Sounds good to me. Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Hall. I have a second by Mr. Buckley. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 20, discussion of moving city council meeting dates for November 19th and December 17th.
Mayor and council, this is kind of a standard practice that, we look at the November and December dates to see if either of those need to be removed or moved because of the holidays. These two dates fall this year outside of the weeks of the holidays, but we do want to bring it to your attention. We did do the same thing with EDC, and they did move the dates on theirs. And so we just need to bring it up to see if either of these dates conflict with anybody, or if we needed to move these dates because of vacations and so forth that fall within the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays.
The December one is the one I would need changed, because I know I will not be here for that meeting.
So December 17th is
December
like,
17th, it'd have to be the week prior. Because I know nobody wants to be here for Christmas. I'm good with December 10th if everyone else is good with it.
I'm good.
When y'all do y'all's, that Thursday, right? Okay.
Okay,
I'm, on the 19th, I'm checking something.
For November.
November. I will be out on the 19th that week.
okay, would that be November or December?
November night, I don't know what anybody else conflicts are in November.
I'm flexible.
We want to do the week before there too.
I'm good with either, both of them.
Yes.
Do I need to check my calendar too?
Yeah, check it, make sure. That's why I requested it. If y'all don't want to go with it, that's fine.
Yeah, y'all have it.
Okay,
It's okay with y'all?
okay, Rachel, you okay with those?
So we are moving it to November 12th and December 10th, is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah, that's fine.
November 12th and December 10th.
week prior to our normal meeting.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I'll go with y'all this time.
Thank you.
Okay, now, I need a motion and a second for those dates, please.
Make a motion, we change the November meeting to November 12th and the December meeting to December 10th.
Okay,
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Buckley, second by Mr. Ward. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, we will now convene into executive session. The City of Cleveland. Council reserves the right to adjourn into executive session at any time during this meeting to discuss any item on the agenda as authorized. Texas Government Code 551071, consultation with attorney, deliberations about real property, deliberations about gifts, donations, personnel matters, deliberations about security devices, economic development. And we will now convene into executive session at 7:14. We'll now convene back into open session. Mr. Mac Waters.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the adjustment of a city manager's severance package from 4 months to 12 months, effective date October 1st, 2024.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Mac Waters. I have a second by Mr. Buckley. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-1.
3 to 1.
Three, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, one absent.